I've had no unclassified briefings because I've not received my clearance yet. However, I did read the interagency report that was released on January the 6th. That report clearly is troubling and indicates that all of the actions you just described were undertaken.
Based on your knowledge of Russian leaders and Russian politics, do you believe these activities could have happened without the knowledge and the consent of Vladimir Putin?
I'm not in a position to be able to make that determination. Again, that's indicated in the report, but I know there's additional classified information that might inform my
You've engaged
view.
in significant business activities in Russia, so I'm sure you're aware that very few things of a major proportion happen in that country without Vladimir Putin's permission. So I ask, based on your views of Russian politics and your experience, is it possible for something like this involving the United States elections to have happened without Vladimir Putin knowing about it and authorizing it?
I think that's a fair assumption.
That he would have needed to. If Congress passed a bill imposing mandatory visa bans and asset freeze sanctions on persons who engage in significant activities undermining the cybersecurity of public or private infrastructure and democratic institutions in the United States, would you advise the President to sign it?
I would certainly want to examine all the corners, all four corners of that.
Well, those are the four corners. We would sanction people who are involved in cyber attacks against the United States and interfering in our elections.
The threat of cyber attacks is a broad issue, and those are coming from many, many corners of the world. Certainly this most recent manifestation, and I think the new threat posed in terms of how Russia has used this as a tool, that introduces even another element of threat. But cyber attacks are occurring from many nations.
So no matter where they come from, if they come from Belgium, if they come from France, if someone is conducting cyber attacks against the United States and we pass a law that authorizes the President to sanction them or actually imposes these sanctions as mandatory, would you advise the President to sign it?
I think it is that second element, Senator, that you just described that leaves the executive branch no latitudes or flexibility in dealing with the broad array of cyber threats. I think it is important that those be dealt with on a country-by-country basis, taking all other elements into consideration in the relationship. So giving the executive the tool is one thing. Requiring the executive to use it without any other considerations, I would have concerns about.
So, Mr. Tillerson, I understand your testimony. You're saying it was mandatory. You would not be able to advise the President to sign it because you want to have the President have the flexibility to decide which countries to sanction and which ones to not sanction.
Under which circumstances to sanction.
In essence, because you want to be able, for example, to take other things into account, like, for example, the desire to perhaps improve relations with that country, and therefore the President maybe doesn't want to sanction them, even though they're attacking us.
There could be a whole array of important issues that require consideration, including trading issues, trade relation issues, mutual agreements around our national security. So I don't think it's appropriate, and certainly for me at this time, to indicate that I would just say that it's a blanket application. I think that is the role of the executive branch. It is the role of the Secretary of State and the State Department to assist and inform the President in judgments about how to use what is a clearly powerful tool.
Well, again, I mean, what's troubling about your answer is the implication that somehow, if there is some country that we're trying to improve relations with or have significant economic ties with, the President, you may advise the President not to impose sanctions on that country, on individuals in that country, out of concern that it could damage the rest of our relationship with them on a cyber attack, which is a direct attack on our national security and our electoral process. So let me ask you, would you advise the President-elect to repeal the Obama administration's recent executive orders regarding cybersecurity and Russian interference in the 2016 elections?
I think the President-elect has indicated, and if confirmed, I would support that what's really required is a comprehensive assessment of our cyber threat and cybersecurity policies. In my view, based on what I've been able to read and have been briefed, we do not have a cybersecurity policy. We do not have a comprehensive strategy around how to deal with what has been a rapidly emerging threat. And as I said, we're seeing it manifest itself in ways that we never envisioned.
But Mr. Tillerson, I understand the cybersecurity plan. We have to have one to protect ourselves and handle cyber attacks against our country. That is separate from the question of whether people that have already conducted attacks should be sanctioned and singled out. There's an executive order that is now active that has sanctioned those individuals. And my question is, do you believe that executive order should be repealed by the incoming president?
If confirmed, Senator, I would want to examine it and all aspects of it in consultation, not only with the president, but with other interagencies that are going to have input on this as to their views.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.